going to take some felt and we're going to apply some lovely coloured yarns and bits and pieces, and we're going to mesh them together to create new surfaces.
So essentially we're going to start off learning about the machine, working through some basic straight laying of yarns, and then developing it to be more complicated by the time we get to the end of the lessons.
Yes, by the end of the lessons there'll be plenty of confidence in the room to use the machine to its full potential.
Well, I can't wait to get going. Let's get started.
Okay. Right, so we're going to apply a yarn to the felt. You can use any type of yarn, but I'm using a wool yarn. It's a pretty pink one, as you'll see, and I quite like using this yarn, but I'm sure you'll find a favourite before very long. Now, the easiest way to start is in the middle. It gives you plenty of felt to hold on to, so start by placing your yarn in the middle of your felt, and as before, get going and slowly introduce your fabric and just run down. All you're doing at the moment is tacking it on, same as before. We'll do one more. Now it'll take quite a long time to completely cover this piece, so I've actually done one that I'd like to show you. I haven't yet worked these in fully, so that's what I'm going to do now. And you can see I can move it round in any direction, but the important thing is not to just work on the yarn, but to also work over the felt between the yarn, because it will become a much more integrated fabric. And if I just quickly go back to the piece that you've just seen me do, if I turn this over, you can quite easily see that there are areas on this that need working in more. So if I turn this one over and compare it, you can see that where I have worked it, the surface has become much more integrated. So, how about having a go?
Okay, right, I'm ready.
So, Myfanwy, if I could show you some bits I've been getting on with since I saw you last. I attended one of your workshops and I was really inspired, and I got to grips with the Embellisher and I had a go with this technique. Here I use lots of different yarns, lots of different colours, because you don't need to just stick to one yarn, do you?
Not at all, and I see you've put them a lot closer together as well, so you've made a much more dense surface, which of course is another option. Yes.
And there's all sorts of things you can do with this. I mean, I saw this as a sample and I thought I'll make some books out of it, because actually
these are lovely.
We've got here, it's very similar to your lines there. I made this book, and all it was just exactly like this. You know, you've got your sheet of felt.
In fact, this would even make that sort of cover, wouldn't it? Now. Yes,
exactly,
brilliant.
exactly. And
what are these? That's half the fun.
Say, I've got this old shawl, and you know when you have all these little practices and you're not really sure, you end up with all these snippets. What I ended up doing was embellishing these onto this old shawl, and so I put them both ends here. And in fact, I've used lots of different techniques, but don't you think it's a really good way of using an old shawl?
Yes, I certainly do. In fact, here, this is exactly what we're doing. Isn't it? At the moment, this particular one, that's exactly the technique we were just using.
I think the next technique that we're doing is snippets, isn't it?
Indeed. So, shall we move on to that?
So you've just had a taster of our embellishing workshop, and we hope you've enjoyed it.
If you too have been inspired, watch our website on colouricious.com, and there you'll be able to buy your own DVD.